Let's talk Houston Texans.
Ugh, do we have
Deshaun
to?
Watson probably not going to play next season.
Probably.
Maybe
He ain't playing. No way.
there's people thinking he will come back. I think
Really?
LeVar Arrington said on air that he expects him to be back later this season.
I don't.
I think it's a long shot, but if he's not playing, I don't think you want any of these quarterbacks. Tyrod, Davis, Millis.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to get it done.
I don't think Sleeper even has an ADP for them. No one's drafting them. No one will draft them. Yeah, not a great look for the Texans this year. Look, we're not expecting a whole lot, but this is something that I do want to say about the Texans, and something that we probably could have talked a little bit more about with like the Jets possibly is, yes, there are bad teams in the NFL, sure, but you can still find fantasy players on teams that may not have the best record or have the best roster construction there. Easily the Texans don't have a lot of fantasy options, but there are a few we can talk about. Should we talk about running backs? Start with them?
Yeah, sure. It's kind of a crowded backfield now. David Johnson, Philip Lindsay, Mark Ingram, and even Rex Burkhead.
Yeah, like what are they doing with the backfield there? Why do they keep adding guys? Todd Gurley's probably going to end up there too. Why not?
This is where all the old running backs will go to die from now on, the Houston Texans.
That's right. Oh, man.
David Johnson, he had a good season last year.
It was surprisingly
revival.
Decent, yeah.
Yeah. Do you like him again this year?
He's not bad. He's ADP is at 82 even, going in the 7th round. He's somebody that, when you get past like the 4th, or like the 3rd or 4th, maybe even 5th rounds, you've gotten past all of the starting running backs and to some handcuffs, some high quality handcuffs. Tony Pollard, Alexander Madison, some of those guys, maybe Latavius. David Johnson's a guy that I would think about taking a shot on. If I go 0 RB to start, you're sitting at like the end of your, say you got a 12-man league, and you're sitting like 10, 11, or 12. You go Kelsey, you go Hill, you go Adams, and then stack, another wide receiver with them. I think David Johnson is a decent ad, but you've also got Philip Lindsay in there who they paid to come in, So is Philip Lindsay going to take away from David Johnson in the passing game?
I mean, probably. It's a lot of running backs in this backfield, so I do think regression is coming for David Johnson from last season.
It kind of has to. It kind of has to. Though I don't think all 4 of these running backs will make it through camp. If you had to choose one of these running backs, one of these 4 running backs that gets cut, who do you think gets cut?
I think the obvious one is Rex Burkhead.
Really?
I don't know what he brings to the table. I mean, David Johnson's kind of the all-around back, can do a little bit of everything. Philip Lindsay. Rex Burkhead was kind of the catching running back in New England, and that Philip Lindsay's clearly a much more athletic version of that, in my opinion.
True.
I can't see Rex Burkhead beating out Mark Ingram in training camp. So,
I mean, I'm biased.
Sure.
For obvious reasons. But Ingram was a healthy scratch in like the majority of the games after the bye week for the Ravens.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know. I could see a world where Mark Ingram doesn't make the team, but either way, and only if injury happens, then you're looking at really Burkhead or Ingram. But Johnson's the value there most likely. Should we move on to wide receivers?
Yeah. Brandin Cooks going to the 8th round. And he's really the only wide receiver in Houston right now. So it is not a pretty passing attack in Houston.
It's not, especially with, Tyrod and Davis Mills, the rookie at quarterback. But Brandin Cooks is a very solid value, in my opinion. 8th round. He's the wide receiver 1 on his team. And, the team's not great. It's not a great roster, but volume is kind of king. And the Texans are going to be down. Are they going to just, stick it out? No, we want to run the ball, establish the run down 30. No, they're going to pass the ball. And Brandin Cooks is the only real reliable veteran option in Houston. I think he's a great value in the 8th round. And I think a lot of people would agree. Tell me if I'm wrong.
I like the argument that he is the only wide receiver there, and he will be getting all the volume. My problem is I cannot see these quarterbacks successfully putting up like 3. I can't see Tyrod Taylor having a 3-touchdown game.
Oh, no way. No, you're not looking at touchdowns.
Getting him points.
No way. You're looking at yardage.
I don't know if he even gets yardage. I mean, Tyrod Taylor, I assume will get the start, and he's more of a game manager. He was never a downfield quarterback. I think Philip Lindsay. I think the running backs probably get a lot of catches, but Brandin Cooks, the speeds are downfield. I don't know. I'm having trouble seeing it. I do like your argument that he's the only guy there. He will get the volume.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard for me to see.
Somebody has to catch the ball, and I think Brandin Cooks can get it done middle of the field. He doesn't have to run downfield the whole time, too. But someone that I actually just thought about, Nico Collins, the rookie out of Michigan, got drafted, I think, the 3rd or 4th round. He was, the Texans had very few picks this draft, right? They spent their very first pick on a quarterback. So that kind of signals to me that Deshaun doesn't really have a future in Houston.
Right.
But their next pick was a wide receiver, Nico Collins. For redraft, no, I'm not looking at him. The quality of targets could be bad, like you're saying. There's not going to be a lot of touchdowns for these wide receivers. Brandin Cooks is the only real established option there. But for a dynasty value, I think Nico Collins is a guy, if you haven't done your dynasty drafts yet, he's somebody you could take a shot on, and I think he could be a nice hold. Depending on how the Houston situation plays out this year, does Davis Mills play a few games? Is he the future in Houston? Does he have success? And does he build rapport with Nico Collins? I think Nico Collins is a nice speculative ad for dynasty, but not redraft. We talk a lot about redraft in our shows, so keep that in mind. But I think Nico Collins is an interesting dynasty play.
Yeah, I think that's the height of his value right now. Just speculative dynasty play. Tight end.
Who do they have? Darren Fells, is he still there?
I'll do a quick Google.
Well, that tells you anything about the Texans this year. It's that there's not a lot of options for fantasy success, and largely dependent upon the quarterback play, for being honest.
The starting tight end on the depth chart is Jordan Akins right now.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about him. Well,
he was always just a guy, even with a great quarterback in Deshaun Watson, that you would just throw into your lineup if your starting tight end was on a bye week.
If you're desperate.
You're not going to look at him with Tyrod Taylor or Davis Mills throwing to him.
God, no. And you're not looking at the defense either.
I think that defense is going to get destroyed.
It's going to be ugly. No offense to any of the Houston fans out there, but it's not going to be pretty.